Welcome into Falcons Today. I am Will Scott. It is about to be a huge week for the Atlanta Falcons. They have a ton of cap space, second most cap space in the league with over $60 million to spend. And on today's show, I'm going to break down what would a perfect Atlanta Falcons free agency look like, name some players that the Falcons should sign. And we begin with Jessie Bates, maybe the biggest name that we're going to talk about today. He would be a perfect fit in this Falcons defense, the Cincinnati Bengals safety. He won an extension last year from Cincinnati, but instead was placed on the franchise tag. He's an unrestricted free agent and is expected to leave Cincinnati. The Falcons have been linked to him a lot, and I'm actually going to predict that the Falcons sign Jessie Bates. And if you want the Falcons to sign Jessie Bates, hit the thumbs up icon, like this video. If there's 5,000 people that watch this video, all of you should be liking it because all Falcons fans should want Jessie Bates in the ATL, who is a top-tier safety in this league. Taking a look at what he's done throughout his career, 71 tackles this past season, 8 pass breakups, 4 interceptions. So in a contract year, he puts together a career high with 4 interceptions. Taking a look at the safety depth chart right now, I think you could definitely use some help here. You have Harris as a free agent, Jalen Hawkins and Richie Grant expected to come back. But, man, if you add Jessie Bates to this depth chart, it would certainly look a lot better. Not sure what he's going to fetch in free agency. I think that he's not going to be cheap. But the good news for Atlanta is they have a lot of money to spend, and they should be spending it, a lot of it at least, on defense. He should be the number one free agent target for the Atlanta Falcons. This makes a lot of sense. You need some safety help. You can afford him. He wants to get paid. Bring him to the ATL and do it early on in free agency because he is going to get a lot of interest. What do y'all think? Will the Falcons sign Jessie Bates? Y for yes or in for no? Down in the comment section. It is the pinned comment on today's video. So when you get within that break, go down and chime in. Y for yes or in for no. Jakobi Meyers is someone else who I expect Atlanta to target, the Patriots wide receiver. I could definitely see him leaving New England, and he apparently wants a big payday. And when you take a look at the Falcons wide receiver depth chart, it's not very good. The Falcons certainly need some help at this position. Now, you drafted Drake London last year. He was fantastic, and he got better and better throughout the season. Actually was playing his best football with Desmond Ridder at quarterback. But Bird, Zaccheaus, those guys are not going to cut it, and those guys are free agents. So I don't know if they're going to come back or not. But Jakobi Meyers would be great to pair up with Drake London, and I think you should pay Meyers what he's looking for. He wants to be one of the higher-paid wide receivers on the market this year. 67 receptions, over 800 yards, 6 touchdowns. And you're talking about someone else who continues to get better and better throughout his career. Much like Bates, not exactly sure what Meyers is going to net in free agency. Could be somewhere around $15 million per year, maybe more than that, closer to 16. So we'll see what happens. But the Falcons have been a team linked to Meyers. They're expected to be a favorite to land him. And if you can somehow get him relatively cheap, maybe $12 million instead of $16 million, I would be all in on bringing Jakobi Meyers to the ATL, because whoever your quarterback is going to be next year, whether that's Desmond Ridder, whether that's someone you take in the draft, if you change your mind and go after Lamar Jackson, whoever the QB is needs a lot more help. And I would definitely go after Meyers to provide him with that kind of help. Let's talk about Yannick Ngakoue now, the edge rusher from the Indianapolis Colts, coming off of a really solid season. I like him as a edge rusher target here for the Atlanta Falcons, and their pass rush might be the biggest position of need this offseason. We've talked about some guys that they can target in free agency at that position. We've talked about some guys they can go after in the draft as well. And even if you do sign Yannick Ngakoue, I would not count out Atlanta maybe drafting someone to be right alongside him on that defensive line. Taking a look at what he's done the last couple of years, 9.5 sacks with the Colts in 2022. With the Raiders the previous year, 10 sacks. So what I'm looking at with Ngakoue is how consistent he has been. 8+ sacks the last 4+ seasons. So I really, really like him as a target here for Atlanta. Wanted to take a second to thank y'all because we hit 10,000 subscribers this week. Really appreciate you guys. And it's going to be a really busy offseason for Atlanta. So be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications. Turning on your notifications is the best way to stay in the loop, not only with our channel, but also with the Dirty Bird. So subscribe and turn on your notifications because it is going to be a big week in Atlanta and around the National Football League. I'll also say this. I think this Atlanta Falcons offensive line can get a lot better because you might lose McGarry in free agency, your starting right tackle. You might have to have someone replace him. How about Jawaan Taylor, the offensive tackle from the Jacksonville Jaguars? You need to fill this hole if Caleb McGarry leaves. I've seen McGarry linked to a lot of teams. I'm not that certain, not even confident at all that McGarry is going to be back. But maybe you go and get Jawaan Taylor to help fill that void. Taking a look at what Taylor did this past season in Jacksonville. The overall PFF grade, not great. The run blocking grade, not good. But the pass blocking grade was pretty solid, a 76.4 pass block grade from PFF, and he played in all 17 games with the Jags last season. Taking a look at this offensive line, you have McGarry as one of the two starters that are set to become free agents. Elijah Wilkinson, hopefully they're able to bring him back. Maybe not, we'll see. But Caleb McGarry, I would be a little bit surprised if he came back. So you're going to have to fill that void at right tackle. That's an important position, obviously, along the offensive line. I like the idea of bringing Jawaan Taylor to Atlanta. Who should the Falcons sign in NFL free agency? Name anybody. It doesn't have to be someone that we're talking about on today's show. Let me know. Who do you think the Falcons should sign in NFL free agency? Maybe you're typing Cameron Sutton, the cornerback from the Pittsburgh Steelers. One of the more intriguing names on the cornerback market. Really interested to see what he gets money-wise in free agency because you have some really solid corners that will be on the market. But I think he could work great in the slot with A.J. Terrell and maybe a rookie corner on the outside. Again, I'm not counting out Atlanta signing a corner or two in free agency and then maybe going out and drafting one as well. The more depth, the better, especially at that position. So Cam Sutton, I think, makes a lot of sense. Also, wanted to mention one more player that Atlanta could sign as well. Tart could be a second defensive tackle to work with alongside Grady Jarrett. So I'm looking at him as a possible option as well. Teair Tart played last season with the Tennessee Titans, 34 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 5 tackles for loss, and a fumble recovery last season in Tennessee. How pumped are you for NFL free agency? Scale it 1 to 10 down in the comments section. You should all be typing 10s. I'm really excited about free agency. We're going to have you covered here on Chat Sports, so be sure to subscribe to our channel, youtube.com/Falcons TV. If the Falcons make a move, we make a video trying to become the #1 Atlanta Falcons YouTube channel. Help us out by going down and hitting that subscribe button right now and turning on your notifications while you're at it.